So the guru that I am working on is Robert Gagne, and most of Robert Gagne's work revolved around the mental side of the learner, and he focused much of his intentions on what learners needed. And as an educational psychologist, that is where he focused most of his attention. His academic background was at some of the most prestigious universities in the country, Yale and Brown. He also worked most of his career at a lot of the very respected colleges, spending his time teaching educational psychology and psychology. One of the things that I found the most interesting about him was the influence that he had on training methods utilized by branches of the military. As he spent most of his, or not most of his, but he spent almost a decade as a consultant for various branches of the military, so that he could consult with them on different training methods. As you can see in some of the books here that are his most respected texts, his attention was always on the learner and what learners needed. The diagram shows the connection of all of Gagne's ideas with the content of his books. And as you see on the bottom right, the 9 events of instruction, those are the points of philosophy for building coursework that we're going to be focusing our attention on with this presentation. So although this section is entitled 9 Events Instruction, you're going to see that his events still focus on the learner themselves. Number 1 is gain the attention of the students. Gagne understood that you needed to motivate students to make them want to learn the material or make them interested to learn the material. The second thing is inform students of the objectives. He understood that students don't want to do work that has no point to it. Let them know where the lessons are going and ultimately what will be gained from it. Number 3, stimulate recall of prior learning. Again, not only where we're going with a lesson is important, but also how it connects to things that we've learned in the past. Number 4 is present the content. In this, he recognized that it's important to use a variety of methods to present content. It not only keeps things fresh and interesting, but it also makes sure that as the instructor, you hit on all the different learning styles of your students. Number 5 is provide learning guidance. And this is simply giving students suggestions on the variety of ways to learn or retain the information that you are delivering. Again, not everybody learns things the same way. Number 6 is elicit performance. In this, it's creating activities to give students the chance to utilize the information you've given them. This will also help them retain the information. Number 7 is provide feedback. It's important to constructively critique student work. It's also equally important to let them know when they are on track and doing exactly what is expected. Number 8 is assess performance. Assessment is important not only to see if the students have learned what's expected, but also to see how effective your teaching methods are. And then 9 is enhance retention. After an assessment, revisit deficiencies and use new techniques to teach what didn't stick with your students. So Gagne understood the idea that as teachers, we're not just teaching subjects, we are teaching students, and they should be taken into account when designing a course. And here is my bibliography of sources that I utilized.